Welcome back to my channel. Let's do a little on a budget thing. Today I want to show you how you can find potentially a very affordable car instead of going out there and buying a $30,000 car that you're going to be paying off within the next 5-6 years, but you'll still be overpaying for it and paying about $30,000 on average for any vehicle out there. Even if you buy a Civic or a Toyota Corolla, something that's supposed to be fairly cheap and affordable, is going to cost you a good $30,000, give or take. So let's dive into the computer real quick, and this is where it gets interesting. So we're gonna go simply on Craigslist. Let me tell you this much: if you want to save a lot of money on your future vehicle, you should be willing to travel. If you're gonna be willing to travel, you're gonna find a vehicle somewhere that's not in your state, but potentially for a much better price, a way better price. For example, me, I'm living in Las Vegas, and I can find a vehicle in California that's gonna be cheaper. And if I'm willing to go even further, the further I'm willing to go, the cheaper I'm going to pay. But now the question is how to get there and how to get back with that vehicle. There's also services that will deliver your car to you, but I don't really trust those, and they cost a lot of money. So that $1,500 that you would have paid, that's roughly how much that cost. Instead, you can simply go there yourself, spend a couple days, make it a road trip. I recommend flying out there and then driving back. I've done it twice in Las Vegas and once in Canada, so I've done it 3 times before. So first of all, you have to figure out what vehicle you would like to drive and what's your budget. I'm gonna type Honda CR-V models by year. Okay, this one is a good website. Over here, I'm gonna be able to see exactly what I need. So 2017 to 2020 I have this model, 13 to 16 this model, etc. So for example, I really like this one because out of all the CR-Vs, it's either the latest one, which I cannot afford. So let's go back into Craigslist and type in Honda CR-V. You can type in different ways, but now you need to basically adjust your search to optimize it. Now here's one trick that you have to do. Right beside the CL, you click on the location and use the map, and then you want to zoom out as much as possible, and then hover over the areas where you would be willing to buy a car. So I want to do anything here in California, and then Las Vegas over here in Nevada. So I'm going to choose this location. That's as far out as I can zoom out, and there you go. Now I'm having more options appear right away. Now you set your price limit. So for example, you don't want to spend more than $5,000. That's your price limit. That's going to limit it significantly. Now if you want to remove and filter out all this junk over here, like those tires, the bumpers, shit that you don't need, you simply have to make a minimum price of something that would filter out all this junk. So I would say even up to $500 at least. You don't want to miss out on a car if it's $500 and in a good shape, but these days it's going to be super hard to come around something like that. But let's say, for example, let's pretend that I like that car over here and I wanted to go ahead. It's in California, so California is big and Nevada is big too. So I'm gonna simply click on the square over here to look at the map, and it's Concord. So Concord, if you look up at it, it's Las Vegas is all the way down here. So you're looking at a good 6 to 8 hours, maybe even more. So all you have to do is, once you're in here and you see where the vehicle is located, is Concord, California. So I'm gonna type in Concord, California to Las Vegas, and we're gonna see 8-hour driving. So I was right, between 6 to 8 hours, almost 9. So if you drive non-stop, you can technically fly out there and then you come back to Las Vegas driving, and it's gonna take you a few hours. It's a good road trip. It's good to have a friend with you if possible. If not, you can do it on your own. It's not 24 hours or 48 hours. It's not like 5 days like a truck driver drives kind of thing. It's fairly doable. I've driven for 23 to 24 hours. Remember I mentioned that I want to do 97 to 2001. Right now I have 1890 results over here. I'm gonna put 97 to 2001. I want to filter only vehicles of that year, and I now narrowed it down to 71. Sometimes you find some vehicles that are sold by dealership that have been reconditioned, and a reconditioned vehicle means it's basically brought back to its original shape as much as possible, right, within reason. Of course, keep in mind it's a used vehicle. So this one, for example, it looks really nice on the outside from far away. You can see some. You have to realize, this is an over 20-year-old vehicle. Of course, it's gonna have a lot of dings and scratches, but overall, what's the condition? This one has been taken care of considering the age. It looks fairly decent. I've seen vehicles that are less than a year old and they have been destroyed on the inside out. So this one is fairly decent condition. Again, I'm checking where it's at, I'm checking all the stuff over here. Now you have a lot of miles on here, you might not want that, but at the same time it's a Honda, you might run forever. And again, you can do the same thing on Auto Trader as well. So you have to set, let's say I'm doing the same thing, Honda, you have to do CRV this way. Now within this window here, you want to change the distance. You change that to any or whatever you are willing to travel. So do any, because I mean sometimes it's 1,000 miles, sometimes it can be 600 miles, but it's not going to show you because you're limiting yourself to 500. So 600 versus 500 is not a big deal, it's like an hour difference, and it may be worth it. So just select any. Everything else around here, you just simply start filtering by year. So 97 to 2001, that's what I want. 2001 exactly. And now it filtered from 20,000 something results to only 62, and it's much easier to go through it, and you can actually find an affordable car. Now you have to do research and figure out which cars are actually durable. So essentially this is how you do this. It's really simple, and it will save you thousands of dollars if you're doing that. So I found vehicles that are 5,000 to 8,000, and it all of course depends on what you're willing to pay, and sometimes you just don't have that cash. But again, if you find a used vehicle in really good condition from an actual dealer outside of the state, you can still get financed. So even if you're financing $5,000 over the next, I don't know, a few years, you'll only pay like $50 a month, $30 to $50 a month. And I mean, that's affordable. You're still gonna overpay. Remember, every time you finance anything, you're gonna overpay in the end of the day. And that's how they make their money. They make their money by letting you borrow and of course paying interest. And that's why it makes sense to pay off things slightly faster, because when you're making slightly higher payments than your minimal, that actually goes towards the principal, which means it pays off your vehicle faster. Because a lot of what you're paying, not, you know, all of it, but a good chunk of it goes towards the interest itself. And whenever you pay for the interest alone, that does not go towards paying off the actual item that you're paying for. Same goes for the houses, same goes for appliances, anything. And houses in particular, because you're financing such a huge amount. I've done some calculations, and these days, if you're in about 5% APR and you're financing a house for the next, let's say 30 years, you will overpay double. You will actually buy two houses. One house for the price of two. And that's why it's so important to educate yourself in this financial stuff. Alrighty guys, stay tuned. Now with the recession, there's going to be lots of news going on. I recommend definitely following what's happening so that you're in the loop, so that you don't miss out on any opportunities, and definitely don't burn yourself on something that may look like a good opportunity, but in the end of the day is going to turn out to be a rag pull or anything of that sort. So definitely stay tuned, stay educated, stay informed, and I wish you all good luck. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I will see you in one of my other videos.